Hello, how's everybody doing? Good to see you all. Any questions?
Coach, can you talk about Jabril Pepper's versatility and how you balance taking advantage of as many talents but not wearing them out?
I always feel like there's, in football, it's very common to be a two-way player. Normally that's an offense and a special teams as the two ways, or defensive player and also a special teams. Jabril, also could be other candidates. Jordan Lewis would be another. There could be three-way players, offense, defense, and special teams. Feel like there's around that 90, 95 play, 100 being really high per game. But somewhere in there's a sweet spot, depending on the mental capability of the athlete. But in terms of load, the 95, 100 is probably the max that we're looking at right now. Does that answer your question?
Still on your left,
You
Coach.
mentioned
Adam on your left, Coach.
Jim,
Yeah.
in terms of comparing this season to last year, installation-wise, organization-wise, how much more control, how much more of a hold do you have on it, and is it easier or less tedious?
I don't know about any of those words really come to mind as describing what it is. I think you're doing something for the second time. There's advantages to that. Everything that we're doing as a football program, with the exception of the new players coming to the team, we're doing for a second time. So there's an advantage there.
Stay on the left here, Wojo.
Jim, heading into camp, do you like where your quarterback battle is, or do you wish somebody had really jumped out, seized command earlier?
The last 4 months, really, they've been working with the team, working on their own, and we'll see exactly where that's at starting tomorrow. So I'll defer answering that question until down the road a little bit.
Down in the front right, Steve.
Jim, you mentioned three-way player Jordan Lewis. Are you thinking of giving him a look at receiver, or?
Yeah. In offense, I think there's multiple ways that he could contribute offensively. We know that he can as a returner, hold-up person, gunner, kick and punt returner. He's got those abilities and capabilities, and I believe he has the. Not going too far out on a limb to say that he can help us offensively as well.
One other thing, the upperclassmen have mentioned how competitive these freshmen are, how they really push the envelope. Talk about the personality of your freshman class.
It's been very good reports with the whole team, and guys have commented on how quickly different players are picking things up and how they're performing athletically, et cetera. But they've been just passing comments. We'll really look to when we start practice to start looking at the freshmen, the incoming players, new players, and see if they're tracking, to be starters or backups, contributors, role players. We'll start making all those determinations once practice starts.
Middle right, Nick.
Hey Jim, we're here. Is there any other guy you'd like to see if he can play two ways this year, other than Jordan and Jabril? Is there anybody else that you'd like to see what they can do at a different spot?
Yes, there are those I'd like to see be able to do it. Those are the two that jump out right away, and I have some thoughts on a few others that we'll start implementing.
Can you share some names on some guys?
Those Jordan and Jabril are the two that really jump off the roster sheet.
Over to your left, Coach Rachel.
Jim, what is the mentality, the psychology that you want your team to take in your second year as head coach? Now that they know you, now that they know the staff, now that they know the expectations.
attitude, mentality, set their goals high, dream big, and realize that all those can be accomplished once the work is realized. And if people are making fun of you for what your dreams are and what your goals are, then you haven't set those goals and dreams high enough.
Front right, Tom.
Jim, can you talk about the offensive line, the development of Grant Newsome, and ability to close games out, maybe pick up a first down late in the game, and how that's going to develop for you?
Yeah, feel good, feel confident the way Grant performed last year as a true freshman. Also, his contribution and performance in spring ball. He gives great effort, has talent. We know him right now as a starting offensive lineman. We'll go into the preseason practices with him at left tackle and Mason Cole at center, and then we'll eventually get to our five best. And there's others that are may not be on the first string right now that have the license and the ability to compete and maybe take one of those starting positions away from somebody that's on the line. That's got to be the meritocracy of preseason fall camp.
If you have a question, raise your hand. Back here on the left. Wojo.
Jim, you mentioned the expectations, but the expectations for this team nationally, locally, seeming rising by the day. Do you feel compelled at all to address that with your team and not get ahead of yourselves, that type of thing? Is that ever an issue between the coach and your players?
Well, just as you said, I mean, those outside expectations, perceptions, they do rise and fall with the day, sometimes by the hour. So, as I said before, our expectations are going to be very high, and as a coach, my expectations are very high for tomorrow's practice. The meetings, the installations, the drills, and practice scrimmaging, and the competition. I want that very high expectations for that tomorrow.
Standing in the back.
Jim, I wanted to go back to last weekend. A lot of excitement about the Nike launch and on the street at State Street. Could you describe your view of that energy in that crowd from when you were up on the stage, and also describe from your view as a former athlete the Michael Jordan's staying power and his ability to stay relevant as a brand and a pop culture figure so long beyond his playing days?
Well, they do a tremendous job. Jordan Brand, has knocked our socks off, blown us away with just how good they are in all facets. The quality of the product and the hands-on approach of this is important to them, that because they know that we're pouring our heart and soul into being good, and I feel like great respect for what the Jordan Brand has put into this in terms of their efforts. State Street was one of those things that again knocked our socks off. I mean, I was dazzled. It felt like a victory celebration. It felt like a championship celebration, and also motivated me personally and other guys that I've talked to on the team and on the staff. Like, let's win a championship and do one of these. Shut down State Street, and that's what it felt like. It's awesome. With a capital A.
Directly in front, John.
Coach, what have you liked about John O'Corn since he's been here? And then the same individual question for Wilton Spate since you've had him under your teaching.
Multiple things. I mean, they're two front runners coming out of spring practice, competing for the job. The thing I like about both of them is how important it is to both those young men and players in the competitive situation that they're in, that they're embracing it. I would say that about both Wilton and John.
Jim, you're talking about the Nike thing feeling like a championship celebration. Are you worried at all about your team having too many championship-type celebrations before winning a championship? Do you feel like that has to be toned down at all? Or
That was a, to me, spur of the moment. I wasn't expecting that. I was blown away by it. I wasn't organized by our players that I was aware of.
In the back there, Rob.
Hey, Coach, how excited are you to get the season started? It's like Christmas Day, or how do you feel?
Yeah, it's the beginning of the year. It's one of the two special days to me in the entire calendar. I've said it before, a lot of people look at January 1st being the start of the new year, or people look at it, those who espouse to Christianity, Catholicism, look at Christmas as the start of the liturgical year, but us in football, first day of preseason training camp is the new year. It's like being reborn in football, coming out of the womb into the bright light, into the chaos, into everybody looking at you. It's where the team's forged. It's under the sun, in the August heat, sun shaping the body and carving the mind. They're excited about it.
Jim, in terms of
Mark, see ya.
in terms of captains, is that something you're going to do early in camp or late in camp, and who do you expect to kind of be the leaders of this team?
That'll be voted on by the players exclusively toward the end of camp.
And are there certain guys who you kind of feel will take a leadership role early in camp until then?
I've always said, I think anybody can take a leadership role from anywhere they sit, any class that they're in. But the seniors will be the ones that will be eligible to be the captains. And always interesting to me to see what the players think and who their vote is for the captain position. So I enjoy watching that.
We have time for a couple more questions. We'll start on the left here. Adam.
Jim, defensively, with the addition of Don Brown and the, I guess the track record, if you will, of Greg Madison, can you assess the defense going into camp? How strong of a feeling is it around us, particularly the front four?
We're very excited about our coaches' track record. Don Brown, Greg Madison, Chris Partridge, Brian Smith, Michael Zordich, just to name. Those coaches has been outstanding, and everybody has great confidence in our defensive staff, players, and other coaches. Feel like it's coming. Feel like it's coming. It has a chance to be something really good. Can't wait to get out in the field and compete. Watch the guys have at it.